So in the last video, I kind of got on a little bit of a tangent, and I have a tendency to do this because I'm very interested in the metaphysical teachings and the spiritual world, but I want to bring it back to the real world, and I want to dive right into it. So in terms of relationships, I want to cover the things that prevent you from having divine connection, and just things that you can work on that are really going to be life-changing and absolutely change the dynamic of your relationships. Now, obviously, in a couple relationship, this is very relevant, but it's relevant across the board in all relationships. So, number one, distractions. Put your devices away. I'm going to say this again. Put your devices away when you are with people that you love. Even when you're with people that you don't love, put them away. Because what you are signaling to that other person when you're constantly checking a device is that they're not worthy of your full attention. And that actually hurts them. That actually makes them feel like they're not good enough. And that's the message that you're sending out. So anytime that you are holding space for another human being and another human being is in front of you, shut your device off, shut your computer off, and give them the full attention of you. Number two, listen to them authentically. You can always tell through the light and the energy of somebody's eyes and their expression if they actually essentially give a shit about what you are talking to them about. So be real in your interactions. If you genuinely are depleted and you're not interested in having a conversation with another person, be real about that. Say, you know what, I'm really tired, I've had a long day, I actually just need 30 minutes of me time to do some yoga or read a book or have a shower. I'm not actually capable of listening to you right now. I just don't have it in me. Rather than sitting there and kind of half-ass listening to them and kind of going, that is not divine connection. That is actually being inauthentic and essentially giving what you don't have to give to somebody. And it creates imbalances. So this is why having a genuine, authentic, open and honest communication with those around you is so important. Now, okay, I'm going to give you another example. There will be people in your friend groups, in your family, your spouse, that impose guilt energy onto you when you say, look, I just don't have it in me. Then they start on this guilt treadmill of, oh my goodness, you haven't done this for me, or you haven't given me your time, da 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 da. All these things that are supposed to, I don't know, force you into giving your energy to them. But again, this is about having the personal strength to say, wait, I've given you what I can give you. Don't project guilt onto me. I will come into communion with you. I will come into space with you when I have something to give. Otherwise, let me be me. You're not obligated to give any other human your energy. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're your mother. I don't care if they're your wife. I don't care if they're your kid. If you genuinely need 20 minutes to yourself, you have every right to reacclimate your energy, to go to a safe place and quiet your mind. And this idea that we're supposed to be on this proverbial treadmill of giving and giving and giving and depleting ourselves because of expectations that don't match up with the actual energy and what's going on in your life is just bogus. So you have to have the courage to be able to ask for what you need and set those boundaries properly so that people in your life can understand your needs. Here's the other thing. Number three, you can kind of read people's mind. I was going to say nobody is a mind reader, but when you're an empath, you can get pretty good at picking up on what other people need. But I'm going to really make this number three. Nobody is a mind reader. You can't know everything about that other person's needs, wants, feelings, what's going on for them. So just stop guessing. Stop guessing about what the other person needs and stop expecting people to guess what you need. Now, here's the caveat to this. You may tell people what you need and they may not be able to deliver. Remember that guilt energy? If you tell them, these are the things I need from you, and they say, great, that's what is in your bucket, but I can't fill that bucket for you. You have to accept that and lovingly let them be in their court. And when they are asking their list of expectations, you are also allowed to say, hey, that's great. I am so excited that you're sharing this with me, but I actually can't do 5 of those things. It's just too hard for me. So that's again where you have this beautiful balanced dialogue where you go, okay, these are your needs. These 5 things, I can't fulfill them. But let's look at some other ways that you could fulfill them so that you feel like your cup is full. And again, that's about helping the individuals in your life, helping them move into a balanced state, caring enough about their needs and their wants and their desires because you love them, because you care about them, and you want to see them joyful. Another mistake that people, couples, sometimes parents, even friends can do is that they are afraid of losing you. So they will try to actually not help you. Like, for example, here's a really good example. You have a beautiful wife or husband and they're trying to lose weight, but you're scared that they're going to leave you if they, have this really rockin' body. So, you buy a bunch of chips and gummy bears and all of these things, and you're encouraging them to eat because truly on the inside, you're a little bit fearful if they really get to this point where they love their body that they may not or no longer want you. And here's the thing about that kind of energy, that kind of scared, controlling energy. It's not self-serving to either party. First of all, you're devaluing yourself. You're basically telling yourself you're not good enough to capture the love and attention of somebody else. And then you're really harming your partner because you're not being supportive of their goals. So again, this stems back to a little bit of insecurity, but just really, if that's something that you have done or are doing or are experiencing, try as much as possible to get rid of that distortion altogether and really focus on, the way you do this is really focus on your personal confidence. And if there's something that might be scaring you that your partner, your friend, your family member is doing that makes you feel like you're going to lose them, it might be something that should be a catalyst for you to begin your own journey or your own glow up, okay? And start to cycle everything back to the self. Okay, now I need to work on some of my own self-improvement. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do the best things for me so that I feel equally confident instead of trying to undermine that other person's success, okay? I see this a lot with friends too, okay? So a friend will be starting a new business or something really cool, and that friend tries to sort of undermine their success, suggesting going out and partying, drinking, things that bring that other person down, maybe layering sort of some insidious sarcasm or some low blows to try to take that person down a notch. A lot of times that energy is because that person is nervous of losing a friend or a loved one, and they don't really know how to articulate that. So they do it in a distorted fashion that doesn't really help the situation and actually hurts both parties. Okay, I'm gonna get into the other thing that can really hurt relationships, and that is working too much. Now, it's amazing to have your grind. It's amazing to have your hustle. Yes, we all want to produce results. But here is the thing. A lot of people think that to have the ideal relationship, you have to have amassed a tremendous amount of wealth, or therefore, you don't have value. That is totally foolish, and it is distorted thinking. There is a beautiful energy in building together with another person. It requires balance because, again, you have to be able to shut off that mechanism of desired greed or that false expectation that happiness comes from things. Happiness does not come from things. Things make life a little bit more comfortable, but not necessarily more fun. I know even, being out at the ranch, we don't have a lot of the modern conveniences here, so things take a little bit longer, but I love doing that. I love not having the modern conveniences, and it's actually really fun to shovel the walk, or it's really fun to not have a cell phone and have to sit down and write a letter. So don't think that just because you have this perception that money equals happiness, it's actually incorrect. Happiness equals happiness, and what equals happiness is connection, purpose, and love sent out or love expressed. Helping others, being in the service of others is really what creates joy. So what else will really help you in terms of creating the best relationship dynamics possible? So Another thing that is really important in terms of your relationships is the gentleness of your words. The way that you speak to others is so imperative to how they'll feel. So there's a little bit of there's a tendency sometimes for people to want to be cool or want to come off, I don't know, just not too romantic or something like that. But there is a beauty in romanticizing your words. And really what this comes down to is just building the other person up. And that's what I mean by a gentleness of your words. When you are, like, have you ever noticed where you'll be around somebody who's kind of funny and they're genuinely a great person, but every second word is a swear word, and a lot of what they're saying is actually super mean, even though it's kind of wrapped in sarcasm and it's kind of funny. But after a little bit or a little dose of that person, you actually kind of want to move away from them. It's because the energy from their word forms is kind of damaging. It's distorted and it's hurtful. And it might seem a little bit funny, but really words can hurt. And so in everything that you do, even if you are in a fight, try to fight fair. Try to make it more of a dialogue or a debate on terms of not cutting the other person down. You might be heated in the energy. You might be really passionate about what the point you are trying to get across, but don't be mean and don't go out of your way to hurt that person or cut that other person down. Super important, because all of our communications will calibrate to how we feel about that relationship. And remember, you can never take the words you have said back. So again, even if you are in a really heated fight with a friend, a family member, a spouse, and you go for the jugular and you really, really say some deeply hurtful things, the problem is you've planted a seed, and those things are they now have an echo throughout the entire span of your relationship, because it's as if that person that was supposed to love you so deeply was capable of having that really horrible thought about you. You will never truly forget it. And so do yourself the favor and always be gentle with your words, because you can't really take them back. And do this throughout all of your relationships. Just really guard your tongue, right? Your word is your wand. Your word is the out manifestation of the emanation of what you truly are, is the spoken word. Okay, of course it's going to filter through to your actions and deeds and everything else. Now, last in this list, and there's lots more, there is a lot more, that's in proper English, that I want to get into in terms of creating the best relationship you can envision. But excitement, okay? There is nothing more magnetic than somebody that is so super excited about life. And here's an example, okay? We have all experienced your pet goes outside, running around the yard. 10 minutes later, they are so ridiculously excited to see you. They're jumping around. They're just, they're going crazy because you're in their presence. That energy is unconditional love right there. It's so much love bursting out of that little spirit, that little soul for you. And if you could encapsulate that experience you get from your pets and bring that same energy into your relationships, could you imagine how excited you would be to see that person that brought you that puppy dog energy, that like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Yes, okay, that would be a little bit much, but do it with your energetic actions and do it with building your energy up. I teach a lot of salespeople, and what I tell them in terms of the sales process is it's all energy. Now, if somebody's saying to you, hey, how's your day? Like, how does that feel? I don't want to be around that person. But if you end up being around somebody and you're like, hey, how's your day going? You look beautiful. It's a totally different energy. So yes, it's kind of like being an actor or an actress. You have to learn this skill of taking that low vibrational energy and charging it up through yourself and kind of exploding it outwards. And it takes practice. It takes a lot of diligence to be able to figure out where to synthesize that magnetic, beautiful, vibrant energy from within what you are, from this avatar body. But as practice makes perfect. As you get really good at doing this, you start to realize and see the reflection of how this incredible energy affects affects other people. And because your world is the reflection of you, you'll start to really understand that you are actually affecting everything. So if what you are bringing energetically to each and every moment is this supercharged, fantastic, mind-blowing, excited energy, it's going to be reflected back to you, and people are going to want to be around you because it feels so damn good to be around that kind of highly charged energy. Now, there's an opposite to this, okay? And I've experienced it throughout my life. There are going to be people that are in a very, very negative space, and they're going to project things onto you like, you know, oh, they're so full of yourself, or you're a narcissist, or all these different things because you're high energy. That is just their particular lack of healing in the moment. Because if what you're doing is really loving on people, really bringing the best of yourself to people, there's nothing narcissistic about that, and there's nothing negative. Narcissism is when you're actually tearing other people down to make yourself feel good. And if the root of your energy is directed and diligent, and it is specific to lifting others up, complimenting other people, telling them how fabulous, wonderful, incredible, beautiful they are, then there is absolutely no narcissism in that. And that's also not self-inflation. It is just joy. That is just you bubbling to the brim with joy. It's spilling over, and you know, you're going and essentially feeding the world with this beautiful energy. Now, you cannot necessarily sustain that high vibrational output, you know, over an extended period of time forever and ever, amen, okay? I know this with myself, with motivating my staff, with motivating salespeople, with getting up. I mean, I'm a big public speaker, so I love being in front of a crowd and feeling the energy of a crowd. However, there is a point where I need to go back inside and refuel. And I refuel that energy by solitude. When I am alone, I become this vessel that I fill up through the things that I need to do to fill that vessel. You know, whether it's art, whether it's dancing, whether it's listening to music, writing, poetry, whatever it is, hiking, nature, working out, okay? Sleeping. I am in love with sleeping, okay? Not because I am depressed, but because, again, when I relax that, you know, the main center of my consciousness, my conscious mind, and I allow everything that is external to fall away, I'm able to recalibrate in a very, very quick way. And so a little hack that I have, even in the middle of the day, if I have to take a 10-minute nap, I do it. And instantly I find that everything is recalibrated in such a beautiful way. So I'm gonna kind of cut this video short. It's super cold here at the ranch today. I think it's -37 last time I checked. I am gonna get super bundled up and head into the mountains and just experience the beautiful day. And here's the other thing. Never let anything limit you. I don't care what the temperature is. I don't care what other people are doing. This is something that I have found is so powerful in my life, is just, you know, seeing no limitations and just really, you know, in all that you're doing, be joyful, be happy, create the circumstance that you want to create. Meaning, if you have to put on a couple extra layers, if you have to learn a new skill, whatever it is you have to do to create that perfect situation for yourself, you're up for the challenge. You just have to believe you are. So have a beautiful Sunday, guys, and I will see you in the next video.